Hey everyone, welcome to the Chopper Fit channel. My name is Brett and I make motorcycle vlogs and other motorcycle related material. Let's go and roll the intro, and then when we come back we're going to discuss my Harley Davidson Dyna Lowrider. Roll it! Thought I'd preface with the front of this that this is kind of like a used bike test ride, but more just like, hey, it's been a couple of years since I bought the Dyna. How am I liking it? The basis of it is, well, I have to love it because it's the only bike I have and it's the only bike I've ever had. But at the same time, I've been through many cars. I've been through a lot of vehicles in my lifetime, just to put it bluntly. And I always had that urge to trade in. That's not the case with this motorcycle. I don't want to trade it in. I don't want to get rid of it. Now, that's not to say I don't want another motorcycle at the same time. It's just, I can't picture my life without this bike in it. So when I got into motorcycle riding about 3 or 4 years ago, I kept building my motorcycle on Harley Davidson's website back when they had that bike builder option, and I would always build like an iron 883 black denim sissy bar, just murdered out awesomeness. Then I went and sat on one, and I sat on one that had the mid controls, and needless to say, I'm a giant in the Sportster world. But I really liked how they looked because it was just a motorcycle. Didn't have bags, it didn't have any of the fluff. It didn't have a fairing that had music blasting at me. It was just meat and bones motorcycle. Woody kept giving me different ideas. He basically wanted to know what my budget was, which I told him. And he kept feeding me different motorcycles to look at. A lot of Softail custom standards, you know, nice bikes, but to get one within my price range, I was gonna have to go up there a ways in the mileage. So then, lo and behold, I believe one day he sent me this bike with this picture, and instantly I fell in love. Even with the hideous saddlebags, I fell in love with this motorcycle. We decided to make the trip up about 60 miles north of town. Woody rode it for me as I didn't have my license at the time. Said it's a good bike as long as I was comfortable doing it. He'd ride it back for me. So I bought it. And it's been just a great journey ever since. Now, why do I think that this bike is a perfect bike for me? If you look at it, again, it's just a motorcycle. Sure, I've added some other things to it, like the fairing, which is not on right now. That's a whole nother story why that's not on. But this bike is just a motorcycle. There's nothing fancy about it. But what is great about it is it can be those other motorcycles. This bike is capable of being your bar hopper, your 20-mile rider. And then it's also got the capabilities of being a long distance hauler, given the right setup on the bike. I have the ability to add the tunnel bag, which has provided me some overnight storage. And then the other modifications I made have made the ride that much more enjoyable. For the first year or so, I was riding stock seat, stock shocks, and I just thought, this is just the harshness of a motorcycle. This is this is the reality of it. Get used to it. Basically, it was suck it up, buttercup, or get out of riding. But I did some research, and through many modifications later, I'm at a point with the bike that I am truly happy. There's a couple other cosmetic things that I would like to change at some point in time, most likely this winter. But it's not going to change how the bike handles too much more. Maybe it will. But, you know, those modifications are mainly cosmetic. This bike just screams Harley Davidson to me. When I think of a motorcycle, this is what I think of when I think of Harley Davidson. I mean, listen to it. Just listen. Oh, it just sounds so good. So would I recommend a bike like this as a first bike for a new rider? Absolutely. Everyone always says, get the Sportster, get a Honda Shadow, get this, get that. No, get what you want, man. Don't settle. All settling does is delay your fun. You might be thinking, but what if you drop your bike? What if you drop your $10,000, $12,000 motorcycle? Well, then you drop it. You fix it. You make it better. You get more comfortable with it. I've dropped this thing. Patch of gravel hit me going into a parking lot. Damaged up the tank. Guess what? I came back better and stronger. I now have keyless ignition. I now have many things that I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't actually take that slide. Now, no way am I saying go out and slide your motorcycle just so you have an excuse to go buy parts. That is not what I'm saying. But if that's what it takes to make the wife understand, then go do it. So yes, it is a good first bike. And here's the reasons why it is a good first bike. It's not too heavy. Sure, it's about 100, 150 pounds more than the Sportster. But in the grand scheme of things, 150 pounds when you're cruising 50 miles per hour down a 2-lane road, there's no difference, guys. There's no difference between this and a Sportster as far as how it feels cruising. Yeah, sure, when you get into some twisties, things like that, the Sportster is going to be a little bit more agile. But come on, guys. This bike is just awesome. It's just awesome. Every time I get on this bike, giant smile comes across my face. The next reason that this is actually a good starter motorcycle is it's got a strong power plant. Now, I am in the 2009 Lowrider, so I came with the 96 cubic inch. Plenty of power out there, guys. And then if you want to add a stage 1 and take exhaust into tune, open it up a little bit more, all the better. I still feel like this engine has room for me to grow personally, which is why hopefully next year I could look into adding a cam or something else along that way to get a little bit more low-end grunt. But you know what? I'm not there to drag race. I'm not there to get there as quick as possible. I'm there to freaking relax. And boom, look at this. Relaxed as a freaking kid in a candy store after they've been drugged up with no. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but. And the nice thing also then about buying a Dyna for your first bike is you don't have to worry about that immediate upgrade. Unless you're going to be doing a lot of long distance traveling, multi-day excursions all the time, this bike should suit you just fine. And if it doesn't, then maybe you need to look into something else that's maybe not Harley Davidson. I don't know. I mean, if you want to go drop $22,000, $23,000 on a new bagger, by all means. I'm not one to say not to. I would actually say do it if that's what you really want. Dynas are cheap. Well, they're cheaper. Let's put it this way. You don't have any problem looking for parts for this bike. Everything's available. You can get stuff from China, you can get American made, you can get things from here, there, everywhere else. I can basically have rebuilt this motorcycle from the ground up. Even though I didn't have to. I only damaged the tank. But almost everything else has been changed on this bike. And yeah, it's awesome. Just, you know, there's not too many other words besides it's just being awesome. Alright, though. So I know this started off as a kind of I said it was going to be a review, but it was more like is a Dyna a good first bike? And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sure have, because I got to ride my motorcycle. No, seriously, guys. This bike, it's it really doesn't matter what you end up with. A motorcycle is a motorcycle, but the Dyna is truly a bike worth looking into if you're getting into riding. Don't be afraid of the power, respect the power. That's what, you know, I kind of learned with it. Learn not to jam on that front brake going into a slow turn, especially gravel. I learned that. So, but these are things that you could have easily done on any bike. Now, this is where the argument comes into play. Well, you should have just got a Honda Shadow. If you damage it, it's no big deal. I'm like, well, I mean, me personally, I don't like riding around a busted motorcycle. So then I would have had to put money into the Honda Shadow just to fix it up, just to probably sell it a little bit later. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents on this here today. I hope you guys had a good time following me around. As always, I'll catch you on the next dark side, as this is the way. Sharp Fit out. Peace.